all 44 U.S. presidents have carried European royal bloodlines into office, 34 have been genetic descendants from just one person, Charlemagne, the brutal 8th century king of the Franks. 19 of them directly descended from King Edward III of England. In fact, the presidential candidate with the most royal genes has won every single American election. This information comes from Burke's Peerage, which is the Bible of aristocratic genealogy, based in London. Every presidential election in America, since and including George Washington in 1789 to Bill Clinton, has been won by the candidate with the most British and French royal genes. Of the 42 presidents to Clinton, 33 have been related to two people, Alfred the Great, King of England, and Charlemagne, the most famous monarch of France. So it goes on. 19 of them are related to England's Edward III, who has 2,000 blood connections to Prince Charles. The same goes with the banking families in America. George Bush and Barbara Bush are from the same bloodline, the Pierce bloodline, which changed its name from Percy when it crossed the Atlantic. Percy is one of the aristocratic families of Britain to this day. They were involved in the gunpowder plot to blow up Parliament at the time of Guy Fawkes. If America declared its independence from the European monarchies in 1776, how is it possible that every single president has descended from European monarchs? If presidents are democratically elected, as we are told, what are the odds that we would always choose members of British and French royal bloodlines to lead us? Michael Tessarian wrote, "The Americas have always been owned and governed by the same royal families of Britain and Europe that conventional history states as being among those defeated during the wars of so-called independence." David Icke wrote, "If it really is the land of the free, and if, as is claimed, anyone really can become the president, you would fairly expect that the 43 presidents from George Washington to George Bush would express that genetic diversity. You're having a laugh. The presidents of the United States are as much a royal dynasty as anything in Europe, from whence their bloodlines came." Researchers like David Icke, Michael Tessarian, and Fritz Springmeier, along with foundations like the New England Historical Genealogy Society, Burke's Peerage, the Roman Piso homepage, and other reliable genealogical sources, have documented these royal presidential bloodlines. Actually, by branching out far enough on the presidential family tree, the dedicated researcher will find that all 44 presidents share kinship, belonging to the same general ancestry, often called the 13th Illuminati bloodline, the Merovingian line, and or the Windsor-Bush bloodline. David Icke wrote, "If you go deeply enough into the genealogical research, you will find that all the presidents are from this line." A spokesman for Burke's Peerage, the Bible of royal and aristocratic genealogy based in London, has said that every presidential election since and including George Washington in 1789 has been won by the candidate with the most royal genes. Now we can see how and why. United States presidents are not chosen by ballot, they are chosen by blood. Granted, the relationships are sometimes distant 10th or 15th cousins, but in a country with hundreds of millions to choose from, this simply cannot be chance or coincidence. Gary Boyd Roberts, a genealogist at the New England Historic Genealogical Society, thoroughly traced these connections in his book Ancestors of American Presidents. George W. Bush himself is directly related to 16 former U.S. presidents, including George Washington, Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, Abraham Lincoln, Ulysses Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, James Garfield, Grover Cleveland, Teddy Roosevelt, William H. Taft, Calvin Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Richard Nixon, and Gerald Ford. Bush is closely related to the King of Albania and has kinship with every member of the British royal family and the House of Windsor. He's related to 20 British dukes, the 13th cousin of Britain's Queen Mother, and of her daughter Queen Elizabeth. He's 13th cousin once removed from Prince Charles, and has direct descent from King Henry III, Charles II, and Edward I of England, and has through the House of Windsor and King Henry III. The Bushes and Bill Clinton are genetically related as well. According to Burke's peerage, even according to the official genealogy, Bill Clinton is genetically related to the House of Windsor, the present royal family in Britain, to every Scottish monarch, to King Henry III of England, and to Robert I of France. In 2004, George W. Bush ran as a Republican against Democrat John Forbes Kerry, his 16th cousin. These cousins, related to the same British and French monarchs, are also secret society brothers in the infamous Skull and Bones fraternity. John Kerry descends from King Henry II of England and Richard the Lionheart, leader of the Third Christian Crusade in 1189. He also has links to royalty in Albania, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Russia, Persia, and France, but still not enough royal genes to top George Bush. Earlier in 2000, we see the same story. George W. Bush ran neck and neck with Al Gore, another supposed Democrat and cousin of the Bush family. Michael Tessarian wrote, Al Gore is a descendant of Edward I, Roman emperors Louis I, II, and Charles II, and is a direct descendant of Charlemagne, which makes him a distant cousin of Richard Nixon and George W. Bush. So the top Democratic candidates against Bush in 2000 and 2004 were actually his cousins. The publishing director for Burke's Peerage wrote, Never in the history of the United States have two presidential candidates been as well endowed with royal alliances. There has always been a significant royal factor in those who aspired to the White House, with Presidents George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, and Ronald Reagan, among others, all boasting blue blood links. Al Gore, a descendant of Edward I, he is also a cousin of former U.S. President Richard Nixon, who resigned from the White House in 1974 for his part in the Watergate scandal. However, Al Gore does have direct links to the Holy Roman Empire. He is descendant of Roman emperors Louis II, Charles II, and Louis I, and is therefore also a direct descendant of Charlemagne, the 8th century emperor. The problem is that Gore's Charlemagne links also make him a cousin of George W. Bush. By placing members on both sides of America's faux political dichotomy, the old monarchs have guaranteed their right to throne under the guise of democratic elections. Back in 1996, we see the same tactic, as Democrat Bill Clinton defeated Republican Bob Dole, his cousin. David Icke wrote, Even Bill Clinton and Bob Dole, who opposed each other at the 1996 election, are distant cousins. They can trace their ancestry to England's King Henry III, who reigned from 1227 to 1273, and U.S. Presidents William Henry and Benjamin Harrison. Clinton has far more royal blood than Dole, and is directly descended from the same bloodline as the House of Windsor, every Scottish monarch, and King Robert I of France. This is why he was the Brotherhood's choice. The Windsor-Bush bloodline reaches from the American presidents back to British and European royalty, and it doesn't stop there. It continues back through Roman emperors all the way to Babylonian kings and Egyptian pharaohs near the beginning of recorded history. From Marie Antoinette and King Louis XVI, the French line continues back through from Louis XV to the First, Charles XI to the First, Henry IV to the First, Philip V to the First, Robert II, and many other French monarchs. It passes the de Medici family, specifically Catherine de Medici of France, who supported Columbus's expedition to the New World, along with bloodline Queen Isabella of Castile, King Ferdinand of Spain, and the House of Lorraine. It was also Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand who started the 350-year Spanish Inquisition, which ordered the murder of millions who refused to convert to Christianity. and from the House of Lorraine, Duke Godefroy de Bouillon became the first Crusader king of Jerusalem. David Icke wrote, "Father George and wife Barbara Bush are both descendants of Godefroy de Bouillon, who in 1099 led European noblemen in the successful crusade to recapture Jerusalem from the Islamic faith and moved into the king's palace at Temple Mount. Godefroy de Bouillon was the first king of Jerusalem and the Duke of Lower Lorraine, a major region for the Illuminati bloodline. So when George W. Bush, a descendant of the de Bouillon through his mother and father, talked of a crusade against Islamic terrorism, this was no slip of the tongue, as was reported. The British line goes back from Prince William and Harry through Prince Charles and Princess Diana to Queen Elizabeth II, King George VI and V, King Edward VII, Queen Victoria, King Edward III, II and I, and King George III, II and I. Then it passes through King James I, who ordered and financed the now most widely read version of the Bible. Before James came Mary Stuart, King Henry III, II and I, King John, signer of the Magna Carta, and back to the Plantagenet and Habsburg dynasties under the Roman Empire. Other branches carried the bloodline to Scotland, Austria, Germany, Spain, Sweden, and even Mexico. This same bloodline also includes key Scottish families like the Lords of Galloway and the Commons, Mary Louise of Austria, who married Napoleon Bonaparte, Kaiser Wilhelm II, the King of Germany at the time of the First World War, and Maximilian, the Habsburg Emperor of Mexico, who died in 1867. On and on it goes into country after country. This bloodline connects into every surviving royal family in Europe, including King Juan Carlos of Spain and the Dutch, Swedish, and Danish royal lines. Before the Habsburgs, the House of Lorraine, and Charlemagne were the Merovingians, who originally brought the bloodline to France and northwest Europe. Back in 4th century Rome, the bloodline passed through Emperor Constantine, the first professed Christian emperor who initiated the Roman Empire's transition into a Christian state and presided over the First Council of Nicaea. He was preceded by the Roman Piso family, who will be discussed later. Before them came Herod the Great of biblical fame and Ptolemy XIV, son of the most well-known Roman emperor, Julius Caesar. Caesar actually married into the bloodline through Cleopatra, the most well-known Egyptian queen. A little further down this very same bloodline brings us to Alexander the Great. David Icke wrote, "One common link in this bloodline is Philip of Macedonia, 382 to 336 BC, who married Olympias, and their son was Alexander the Great, 356 to 323 BC. A tyrant who plundered that key region of Greece, Persia, Syria, Phoenicia, Egypt, Babylon, the former lands of Sumer, and across into India, before dying in Babylon at the age of 33. During his rule of Egypt, he founded the city of Alexandria, one of the greatest centers for esoteric knowledge in the ancient world. Alexander was taught by the Greek philosopher Aristotle, who in turn was taught by Plato, and he by Socrates. The bloodline and the hidden advanced knowledge have always gone together. Back the bloodline goes past Alexander, past Nebuchadnezzar the Fourth, Third, and other kings of Babylon, all the way to ancient African kings and pharaohs of Egypt, Ramses the Second and First, Thutmose the Fourth, Third, Second, and First, Amenhotep the Third, Second, and First, and many more. For millennia, these kings, queens, pharaohs, and emperors have obsessively interbred with themselves to preserve and spread their bloodline. They have ruled over us since the beginning of recorded history, claiming they were given divine right to the throne by God or gods. David Icke wrote, "This divine right is simply the right to rule by DNA. We have a head of state in Britain to this day who is only there because of her DNA, and the whole freeloading hierarchy of the royal family is structured according to a person's DNA relationship to the king or queen. What is royal rule by DNA if not outrageous racial and genetic
Unit
elitism.
ready.
This divine right to rule has nothing to do with the divine and everything to do with the real origin of these bloodlines. They claim to descend from the gods of the ancient world. The royal families have interbred incessantly with each other since ancient times because they are seeking to retain the DNA corruption that can apparently be quickly diluted by breeding outside of itself. How interesting that the families of the Illuminati and the power elite do the same to this day. Why? They are the same bloodlines. The royal divine bloodlines of ancient Sumer and Babylon, now Iraq, Egypt, the Indus Valley, and elsewhere, expanded into Europe to become the royal and aristocratic families that ruled that continent and most of the world through the British Empire and those of France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, and so on. As the peoples began to challenge and reject the open dictatorship of royal rule, the bloodlines began to move underground by operating among the population in all the areas that control modern society. You will find a similar story all over the world.
Building.
Credo Mutwa, the official historian of the Zulu nation, told me how so many black African leaders that were placed in power after the colonial masters gave the continent independence came from the bloodlines of African kings and queens who claimed to descend from the same gods as their white counterparts.
All systems operational. Transporting siege weapon.
Unit ready. Unit armor
Siege
upgraded.
chopper checking in.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Do you have a plan? I'll carry out the operation.
Unit
Building
ready.
Soviet economy.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Building. Unit ready.
Airborne artillery checking in. Airspeed to
Shuttle
maximum.
ready for passengers.
Ready for deployment.
Unit ready.
Airborne artillery.
Unit ready.
Airborne artillery. The big
Unit
gun. Let's take
ready.
over the area.
Building. Unit ready. Construction complete. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
I love my boat.
Unit ready.
What is the mission?
Unit
I'll carry out
ready.
the operation. What is the mission? Maneuvering.
Building.
Comrade, for the Union.
Select target. Unit ready. Construction complete. Structure garrison. Unit ready. Unit ready.
We've got all systems operational. Armored personnel carrier. Armored personnel carrier.
Unit ready.
Cutting back.
Unit lost. All miner under attack.
The water riding the current. Running high.
Unit ready. Primary building selected. Building.
Conscript reporting.
Building.
Moving out. Siege chopper. We've got checking gun. Transporting siege weapon.
Structure garrison. Unit ready.
We've got the big gun. Airspeed to maximum. MCV. We've got the
Spy
big gun.
plane ready.
Looking for clearing. For deployment as quickly as possible.
Construction
Ready
complete.
for deployment. Looking for clearing.
Unit ready. Primary
for
building
deployment.
selected. Unit ready.
Airborne artillery. Siege chopper checking in.
Unit
Ready
ready.
for deployment. Siege
Unit
chopper checking
ready.
in.
Insufficient funds. Building.
Conscript reporting. Ready for artillery. Looking for clearing. We've got the big gun. Moving in. Carrier ready.
Structure
Where do
garrison.
you need to go? Let's keep it safe.
Siege chopper checking in.
Unit
Transporting siege
promoted.
weapon.
Unit
We've
ready.
got the big gun.
Construction complete.
Typhoon attack
Unit ready.
They won't detect our approach.
Unit ready. Unit speed upgraded.
Dive!
Unit ready. Unit promoted. Building.
Waiting orders.
Unit ready.
Water tight, comrade. Dive!
Construction complete. Unit ready. Structure garrison. Building. Unit promoted.
Do you have a plan? Armored personnel carrier ready. Cutting path. Waiting orders. Da.
Structure sold.
Waiting orders. Da. Waiting
Structure
orders.
garrison.
War miner here. War miner here. Relocating operations. Ready, comrade. Location confirmed. Moving out.
Unit ready.
All systems operational. We've got the big gun. Torpedo.
Unit
Water
ready.
tight, comrade. Typhoon attack. Typhoon attack. Checking.
Select
Periscope.
target. Unit ready. Construction complete. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
We've got the big gun.
Unit ready.
Good fishing here. Good
Unit
fishing
ready.
here. Sounds good.
Unit ready.
Good under pressure. Dive! Typhoon
Unit
attack
ready.
zone. Running silent.
Unit ready.
I'm not armed, you know. Don't get too
Unit
close to
speed
combat.
upgraded.
Airborne artillery operational. Let's take over the area. The water's warm, yes? The weekend
good. Unit ready.
Checking
Unit
systems
promoted.
operational. Siege chopper checking in.
I am
Spy
not armed,
plane
you know.
ready.
Planning course.
Unit speed
Siege
upgraded.
chopper checking in.
Unit
What is the
ready.
mission? Making
Unit ready.
Where do you need to go? Checking with map.
Unit ready.
Nice day for a cruise. The weekend getaway.
Unit ready.
Ready for deployment. Siege chopper
Unit
checking in.
ready.
Looking for clearing. Moving in. Armored personnel carrier ready. Ready for transport. Getting in.
Let's
Unit
take an
ready.
excursion. Let's keep it safe.
Unit ready. Training. Cancelled. Unit
Need a
ready.
ride, anybody? Let's
Maneuvering.
keep it safe. Where
Unit
do you need
ready.
to go? Don't get too close to combat.
Ready for
Unit ready.
transporting siege weapon. Waiting orders. Da.
Unit ready.
orders.
Shuttle ready for passengers. Planning course.
Select target.
Where do you
Unit
need to
ready.
go? Checking with map.
Comrade. Moving out. Airborne artillery. Siege chopper checking in. Maximum. Airborne artillery. Let's take over the area. Ready for deployment. Looking for clearing. Target ready. Airspeed to maximum. Transporting siege weapon. Waiting orders. Comrade reporting.
Building.
Conscript reporting. Da.
Unit ready.
Da. We've got the big gun.
Unit ready.
Do you have a plan? All systems
Unit
operational.
ready.
Airspeed to maximum.
Insufficient funds.
Siege chopper checking
Unit
in.
ready.
Let's take over the area. Siege chopper checking in.
Spy plane ready.
Ready for deployment. Airspeed to maximum.
Building. Building. On hold. Cancelled.
We've got the big gun. Do you have a plan? Let's clear the air. What is the mission? Making tracks. Do you have a
Unit
plan?
ready.
Making tracks. Ready for transport. Maneuvering. chopper, checking in.
Good, under pressure.
Typhoon
Under
attack
pressure.
sub.
Construction complete.
Ready for deployment. Let's take over the area. All systems operational.
Building. Training. On hold. Training. On hold. Cancelled. On hold. Cancelled. On hold. Construction complete. Unit ready.
I am not armed, you know. Planning course.
Unit ready. Construction complete. Building. Cancelled.
Ready for transport.
They will run in fear.
Unit ready.
Comrade? Da. Comrade? Da.
Unit ready. Structure garrison. Unit armor upgraded.
All systems
Unit
operational.
ready.
Let's take over the area. Ready for
Unit
deployment.
ready.
Moving in. Siege chopper, checking in.
Primary building selected. New rally point established. Unit ready.
Waiting orders.
Unit ready. Building.
Conscript reporting. Comrade?
Unit ready.
Order received.
Structure garrison.
All systems operational. We've got the
Unit ready.
big gun. Let's take over the area.
Unit promoted. Unit ready.
Torpedoes armed. Running silent.
Unit
Waiting
speed
orders.
upgraded.
Under pressure.
Unit
Running
ready.
silent.
Good fishing here. Sounds good. I love my
Checking
boat.
periscope.
Riding the current.
Unit ready.
Waiting orders. Order
Nice day
received.
for a cruise. Sounds good. Running high.
Unit ready.
They won't detect our approach.
Need a little speed?
Unit promoted.
The weekend getaway. Airborne
Unit
artillery.
ready.
Let's take over the area.
Insufficient
Nice day
funds.
for a cruise. The quicker the better.
Torpedoes armed.
Unit ready.
Checking periscope.
Waiting
Unit
orders.
ready.
Waiting orders. For the
Unit
Union.
ready. Cannot
Comrade?
deploy here.
Order received.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Comrade?
Structure
Comrade
sold.
reporting. For the Union.
Unit ready.
Good. Under pressure. Under pressure. Running
The
silent.
water's warm, yes? The quicker the better.
Unit ready.
Armed.
Riding the current.
Shuttle
Unit
ready
ready.
for passengers.
Unit
Checking with
ready.
map.
Building. Unit ready.
I'll carry out the operation.
Unit promoted. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Comrade? Order received.
Structure garrison.
Da.
Typhoon attack sub.
Dive! Armored personnel carrier ready. Maneuvering.
On hold. Cancel.
We've got the big gun.
Unit ready.
Moving in.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Let's take over the area.
Unit ready.
They may be near. You'll stand.
Unit ready.
Transporting seaplane.
Unit lost. Unit ready.
Airborne artillery.
Unit lost. Unit promoted. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit promoted. On hold. Unit lost. On hold. Cancelled. Building.
What are type, comrade?
Unit ready.
Running.
Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Let's take over the area. All systems operational.
Unit ready.
Transporting siege weapons. Technique near.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
All systems operational.
Cancelled. Unit ready.
Torpedoes armed. Running.
Unit speed upgraded. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Ready for deployment.
Unit ready.
Transporting siege weapon.
Ready for transport. Making tracks.
Siege chopper.
Unit
checking in.
speed
Looking for
upgraded.
clearing. Let's take over
Unit
the area. Siege
firepower
chopper. Checking
upgraded.
it out. Let's take over the area. Airborne
Unit
artillery.
ready.
The water's warm. Yes?
Unit ready. Building. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit ready.
We've got the big gun. Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing.
Unit ready. Insufficient funds.
Nice, comrade. Technique near.
Unit lost.
Ready for deployment.
Unit ready.
We've got the big gun.
Unit lost.
All systems operational. Needle
Unit
protector.
promoted. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Ready for deployment.
Building.
Ready for deployment.
Unit
Let's take over
lost.
the area. Airspeed to maximum. Siege shop ready for deployment. Let's take over the area. Transporting siege weapon.
Unit ready.
Airborne artillery operational. Moving in.
I am not armed, you know.
Technique near.
Unit speed upgraded.
Good under pressure.
Unit ready.
Technique near. Siege chopper checking in.
Unit
Airborne
promoted.
artillery moving in. Checking periscope. We've got the big gun. Good under pressure. Dive! Is unarmed scope.
Unit lost.
Checking periscope.
Unit ready. Unit
All systems
ready.
operational. Airspeed to maximum.
Unit ready. Unit
Let's
lost.
take over the area.
Unit lost.
Moving in. Transporting siege weapon.
Unit lost.
What is the mission?
Torpedoes armed. Running silent.
Unit ready.
Torpedoes armed.
Unit
They won't
ready.
detect our approach. Siege shop.
Unit
Siege shop
ready.
operational. Moving in.
Unit firepower upgraded.
Torpedoes armed.
Unit
They
ready.
won't detect our approach.
Unit ready. Building. Unit ready.
The water's warm. Here. The weekend.
Unit ready.
Typhoon attack sub. Typhoon attack sub.
Checking periscope.
Unit ready.
What is the mission? I'll carry out the operation. Torpedoes armed. What are the comrade? Our approach.
Unit ready. Unit
Good
ready.
under pressure.
Unit ready.
Dive! Use stealth.
Building. Unit
Airborne
ready.
artillery checking in.
Unit armor upgraded.
Airspeed to maximum.
Unit ready. Construction complete.
Annihilate. I cast a deadly shadow.
What
Primary
are under
building
pressure?
selected.
They won't detect our approach.
My boat. Sounds good.
Building.
Torpedoes armed. They won't detect our approach. What are
Insufficient
dice, comrade?
funds. Unit ready.
Typhoon
Unit
attacks
promoted.
up. Seeing dead. Typhoon attacks up. Running silent.
New rally point established.
We've got the big gun.
Annihilating. It will soon
Unit
be a
ready.
wasteland.
Ready for deployment.
Let's clear the air.
Do you have a
plan?
Unit ready.
Vessel ready. Hush. They may be near. Checking periscope armed. Get away. Use comrade.
Unit
Dive!
ready.
All systems operational. Moving in. Nice day for a cruise. Sea chopper checking in.
Unit ready.
Armored personnel
I
carrier.
cast a deadly shadow.
Unit speed upgraded.
Armageddon.
Unit
is here.
ready.
They will run in fear.
Unit lost. Unit ready.
Vessel ready. Fire at will. Target sight.
Need a little speed?
Good under pressure.
Building. Unit ready.
Hush.
Unit ready.
Checking periscope.
Unit ready.
Airborne artillery. Let's take over the area. Transporting siege weapon. All systems operational. Moving in.
Unit ready.
Siege chopper checking in. We've got the big gun.
Building.
Need a little speed?
Yes?
Weekend?
Unit ready. Primary building
Yes,
selected.
great for navigating. Siege chopper checking in. Airspeed to maximum.
Yes, Commander.
Unit ready.
Ship
New
reporting.
rally point
Ready,
established.
ready for deployment. Let's take over the area.
Let's take an excursion. Don't get too close to combat.
Unit ready. 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 Insufficient funds.
What is the mission? Cutting path.
Unit speed upgraded.
Nice day for a cruise. Typhoon attack sub.
Unit ready.
Good, under pressure.
Unit ready. Select
Vessel
target.
ready. Cruise and fire. Fire at will.
Unit promoted.
Fire at will.
We've got the big gun. Looking for clearing.
Unit ready.
Good, under pressure.
Let's take over the area.
Unit lost.
Engineer.
Unit lost. Unit promoted.
Typhoon attack sub. Periscope.
Unit lost. Unit promoted. Unit lost. Unit promoted. Unit promoted.
Vessel ready.
Unit promoted. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit promoted. Unit lost. Unit promoted. Spy plane ready. Unit promoted.
Target spotted.
Unit lost.
Armored personnel here. Ready. I'll carry out the
Player.
operation.
Let's take an excursion.
We've
Planning
got the big
course.
gun.
Water tight, comrade. Water tight, comrade. Checking
Unit
periscope.
lost.
Airborne artillery. Moving in.
Let's go.
We've got the big gun. Moving in. Ready for deployment.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit promoted. Unit lost. Unit promoted.
We've got the big gun. Let's take over the area.
What is the mission? Do you have a plan? Ready.
Building. Unit ready.
Good, under pressure. I may be near. Running fire. What is the mission?
Cast the deadly shadow.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
We've got the big gun.
Unit ready.
All
Unit
systems
ready.
operational. Transporting siege weapon.
It will soon be a
Unit
wasteland.
ready.
To go. Let's keep it safe.
We've got the big gun.
Unit ready.
All systems operational. All systems operational. Transporting siege weapon.
Unit ready. Unit
We've got
ready.
the big gun. Let's take over the area.
Armored personnel. Armored personnel. What is the mission? Ready. Cutting path. Let's clear the air. What is the mission?
Unit
Clear
ready.
the air. Ready. Cutting path. Do you have a plan?
Building. Building. Unit ready. Unit
Taking
ready.
Siege chopper. Checking in.
Unit
Do you
ready.
have a plan? Cutting path.
Unit
Airborne artillery.
promoted.
Transporting siege weapon. Airborne
Unit
artillery.
ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Primary building selected. Unit ready.
Torpedoes armed.
Insufficient funds.
Good fishing
Unit
here.
ready.
Ship reporting.
Navigating. Navigating. Ready for deployment.
Unit lost. Unit promoted.
Armored personnel area. Ready. Siege chopper. Checking in.
Do you have a
Unit
plan?
ready.
Getting in closer.
Soviet power will soon be
Let's
a
clear the air.
wasteland.
Making tracks.
Unit ready.
Yes, Commander. Engines engaged.
Torpedoes armed.
All systems operational.
Unit ready.
Guns unleashed.
Ready for transport. Cutting path.
Unit ready.
Siege chopper. Checking.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit
What are
promoted.
that, comrade?
Unit lost.
Operation. Transporting siege weapon. Load up the belt.
Unit promoted.
Transporting siege weapon. Siege chopper. Checking in. Ready for deployment. Maximum. Transporting siege weapon. Artillery.
Unit ready.
All systems operational.
Unit lost.
Yes,
Unit
Commander.
ready.
Navigating. All systems operational. All systems transporting siege weapon.
Unit
Airborne
lost.
artillery.
Unit speed upgraded. Unit promoted. Unit lost. Unit ready.
Sounds good.
Building. Unit
Ship
lost.
reporting.
Unit
Course set.
ready.
What are that, comrade?
Unit ready.
Good under pressure. Checking periscope.
Unit ready.
Torpedoes are iPhone attack.
Yes, Commander.
Dive!
Unit lost.
Dive!
Unit ready. Building.
Good fishing here. Riding the current. Hush. Let me be near. Checking
Unit
periscope.
lost.
Airborne artillery. Looking for clearing. Looking for clearing.
Let's clear the air. Making tracks
Yes,
at little
Commander.
speed. Close and fire. Good under pressure.
Vessel ready.
Unit
Ready for
promoted.
deployment. All systems operational. Looking for clearing. Transporting siege weapon.
Unit ready. Player defeated. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Typhoon attacks up. They won't detect our approach.
Unit ready.
Airborne artillery. Running high. Yes, Commander. Captain confirming.
They make near. They won't detect our approach.
Unit
Yes,
ready.
Under pressure. They won't detect our approach. Sounds good. Armored
It
personnel
will
here.
soon
Ready.
be a wasteland.
Unit ready. Unit armor upgraded. Unit ready.
Torpedoes iPhone attacks up. Dive! Torpedoes armed. Hush. They make near. Checking periscope.
Unit ready.
Yes, Commander. Target sighted. Target
Torpedoes
sighted.
armed. Yeah.
Unit ready.
Torpedoes armed. Dive!
Unit ready.
Yes, Commander.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Yes, Commander.
Unit promoted. Unit lost.
Dive! Yeah.
Vessel ready. Navigating.
Need a little speed? Typhoon attacks up. What are dice, comrade? Use stealth. Good fishing here.
Unit lost. Unit promoted.
Torpedoes armed.
Ship reporting.
Fire it under pressure. Checking periscope. Watertight, comrade. They won't detect our approach. Target sighted. Close and fire. Target sighted. Close and fire.
Building. Building.
Course set. Close and fire. Ship reporting.
All systems
Unit
operational.
ready.
Transporting siege weapon. Looking for clearing.
Unit promoted.
Yes? Engines engaged.
Unit
Target
ready.
Siege chopper. Checking in. Transporting siege weapon. Siege chopper. Checking in.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Moving in.
Insufficient funds. Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit promoted. Unit lost. Unit promoted.
All systems operational. Ready for deployment. Transporting siege weapon.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Yes, Commander. Vessel ready. Fire and wind. The water's warm, yes?
Airborne artillery.
Yes, Commander. Fire and wind. Throw and fire. Target sighted.
Unit ready.
Throw and fire.
Unit promoted.
Fire and wind.
All systems operational.
Vessel ready. Navigate.
Unit ready.
Vessel
Airborne artillery.
set.
We've got the big gun. Moving in.
Good fishing gear. Running hard,
Unit
Commander.
ready.
Target sight. Good fishing gear. New weekend. Get the vessel ready. The water's warm, yes? And fire. Target sighted. Fire and wind. Target sighted. Throw and fire.
Unit promoted. Unit ready.
Throw and fire. Fire and wind. Riding the current.
Unit promoted.
Close and fire.
Unit promoted.
The water's warm, yes? Yes, Commander. Target
Unit ready.
fire and wind. Fire and wind. Target sighted. Close and fire. Fire and wind. Fire and
Player defeated. You are victorious.
everybody? UFC President Dana White. I'm here to announce that the card that everyone has been waiting for, we got it done. Abu Dhabi, UFC 294 on Saturday, October 21st. The main event, Islam Makhachev will defend his lightweight title in the rematch against Charles Oliveira. Makhachev has won 12 in a row, and the former champ Charles Oliveira has won 12 of his last 13, including finishes over Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, and his one loss in those 13 fights is to Islam. After that loss, he bounced back with a first-round TKO of Beneil Dariush, extending his UFC record for most finishes to 20. Also on the card, the guy everybody's been waiting to hear about, Khamzat Chimaev, returns, and he will be facing Paulo Costa. Chimaev is 12-0, 11 finishes, and he's coming off a dominant first-round submission of Kevin Holland. Costa has an 86% finish rate, and let me just say this. He and Chimaev do not like each other. This should be one hell of a fight. Costa was originally scheduled to face Ikram Aliskerov in Salt Lake City next weekend, so now we're moving him to UFC 294 as well. He'll be taking on 12th-ranked Nasruddin Imavov. It's also the 5th edition of Abu Dhabi Showdown Week. UFC will take over the city with parties, meet and greets, fan events leading up to UFC 294. I love Abu Dhabi. I tell you all the time, they have the best restaurants, the best shopping, unbelievable service. You literally could not ask for a better destination for a fight. If you've never been, tickets are on sale now, so make your plans, and I will see you at the fights in Abu Dhabi.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?